Look, Nevada's got everything here when it comes to close races. Another race that we're watching very closely here is the state's 3rd congressional district. Frankly, both the 3rd and the 4th are toss-ups, and that includes parts of Las Vegas and its suburbs. The Democrat Susie Lee leads Republican Danny Tarkanian, if you want to say that, by 2 points in a recent poll. That's margin of error stuff. Danny Tarkanian joins me now, and he was shaking his head already. He goes, no. I know margin of error, Mr. Tarkanian.
That was an 8% margin of error. There's been 4 polls that have come out in the last week. We're tied in 1, up by 1, up by 2, and up by 6.
Why is that? Tell me about the district. Why is this such a close race? You lost by a fingernail the last time to Jackie Rosen. I should remind people, this is the district Jackie Rosen currently represents. She's running for the U.S. Senate. Why is this district so close?
It's an evenly split district. The Democrats have a 1% voter registration advantage, but usually when the turnout comes out, it's pretty evenly split. In fact, the last election, when I lost by 1%, there was a 1.5% more Democrats that voted. So this race is going to come out to turnout. It's very close. There's a lot of polarization in this district, as there is across the country. But we feel pretty good where we're at. We spent a lot of time and resources on our field game.
When this cycle started, a lot of people thought you were going to be a Senate candidate. Ironically, I guess you and Jackie Rosen could have faced off a second time, this time higher up on the ballot. You chose not to run because President Trump asked you not to run. Are you comfortable with that decision?
I was going to get in the congressional race and run against Jackie Rosen again, but I was recruited by the people that supported President Trump and America First policies to run against Dean Heller because he hadn't supported the president. So I got in the race because I was going to support President Trump's policies. So he comes and calls me up and says, hey, for the best part of my policies, it would be better if you ran for a very important congressional race and help us win that, let Dean win that. How do I tell the voters who asked me to run in the race to support the president that now he wants me to do something against my interests and I'm not going to support him? I couldn't do it.
You still feel good about the decision?
If there was no decision. It had to be. I didn't have a choice the other way. The whole reason for running in the Senate race was taken away when President Trump asked me to move out of that race.
What do you think the threat of your candidacy has done to Dean Heller's candidacy?
Well, I know that he became very supportive of President Trump after I got in the race. I don't think he would have had a chance to win this race if he hadn't.
Do you think him responding to you by moving to the right has actually made him more competitive now?
Yeah, look, if President Trump is more well-liked in Nevada from what you see in the polls and almost most of the other states, at least not all the other states besides the real red states. He lost his district by the state by 2%. Romney lost by 7, McCain 12. He actually overperformed in this state. He has a +4 approval rating in my district. And furthermore, if you don't support President Trump's policies, you're not going to get the Trump supporters to vote for you, and Dean Heller had no chance to win if the Trump supporters weren't voting for him.
I would say the #1 issue generically in every House race in the country, at least if you just look at TV advertising, it's some form of health care, right, on each side. The issue of pre-existing conditions. I hear a lot of people say, of course I support keeping pre-existing conditions covered by health insurance.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
You do it with high-risk pools, and they had some of those before the Affordable Care Act took place. And the federal government needs to be the ones supplying the money for that. They can subsidize those. The federal government would be subsidizing those high-risk pools at a much lower amount than they currently are under the Affordable Care Act. Look, the problem with the Affordable Care Act is it's not affordable. My family's health insurance went up from $480 a month to $1,840 a month, $1,000 deductible to $5,000 deductible. We need to drive the costs down. But my son also had a stroke when he was 4.5 years old. He's going to have a pre-existing condition the entire life, not because of any fault of his. He shouldn't be penalized for that.
Is the right move to start from scratch again, though? I mean, look, this is the real debate. Nobody's ever happy with the health care they have, but they're afraid of what it's going to get changed to.
You don't have to start from scratch. You take the good things that the Affordable Care Act has.
So you would keep some of Obamacare at this point?
Of course. Of course. You take the good things from what's there already. You got to create a new bill. You take the good things from the Affordable Care Act. You add in some other things that can help drive down the cost. And I believe we got to get to more of a free market principles that'll drive down the cost. You don't have time for all of it now. But that's.
I understand that. Expanded Medicaid, though, here in Nevada. Would you want to see that go away?
I think we need to be able to provide health insurance for the people who can't afford it until they can get on their feet to afford it. Whether it's through Medicaid or some other program, we certainly should do it. But I'll tell you what will be able to service more people is if we can drive the cost of health care down. It would also drive the cost of Medicaid care down.
Danny Tarkanian, I got to leave it there. A shorter interview than what we'd have on a Sunday. But stay safe on the trail, and we'll be watching your race very closely.
I hope I get a chance to be on it again with you, maybe on a Sunday.
All right. Thanks for coming in, sharing your views. Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor, subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Meet the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.